Hi guys, today we're going to be on page 209, this is lesson 9 session 3, and we're going to be talking about this, y equals mx plus b. So in our last couple lessons we've been talking about y equals mx, and we know that m is our slope, so then today we're going to figure out what this plus b is. Alright, so we have this question here, and it says a 60-gallon rain barrel is filled to capacity. So that means it has 60 gallons in it already. It's full. Elena opens the stopper to let water drain out to her garden. So the equation is this, y equals negative 3x plus 60, which makes sense, right? Like, the unit rate of number of gallons of water left in the barrel is going to be negative because the water is leaving the barrel. So the amount in the barrel is going to go down. So that's why that negative 3 is negative. And then we're going to find kind of the rest of these things. So what I would do is I'd come down here to my graph, and I need to get up to 60 on my y-axis. So I'm going to just skip 1, go 10, skip 1, 20, skip 1, 30, skip 1, 40, skip 1, 50, skip 1, 60. And then down at the bottom, let's see, if it's going down 3, I'm going to go, what's the best way to do this? Maybe let's just go skip 110, skip 120, skip 130, skip 140, skip 150. Alright, that's probably good enough. I probably could have skipped 2, but that's okay. So basically what I would do to graph this is say kind of where am I starting? Okay, so like this is my time down here. This is my minutes on X. So at 0 minutes, like before I've done any draining of the barrel, where am I starting? Well, the barrel's completely full, so I'm starting up here actually at 60. So I'm going to put a point right there at 0, 60. And then my slope itself is negative 3. So this will be kind of tough because basically what we have to do is we have to find out in 10 minutes, okay, because that's what I made my X go up by, in 10 minutes, how much is it going to drain? Well, if I take the rate, which is negative 3, times 10 for those 10 minutes, because it's draining at 3 gallons per minute for 10 minutes, that's going to get me negative 30. So what I have to do is from here I have to go down 30. So that would be 10, 20, 30. And then I got to go over to my 10. Alright? So that next point would be right there. So then I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to go down 30, so down 10, 20, 30. And then I'm going to go over to there. And then I should use something straight edge. I'll use a recognition point, I guess, to draw that line. Okay, and it should look something like that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and flip to the next page because we just had to graph the equation. So we have our minutes here, and then on our y-axis is the number of gallons. Okay? So at 0 minutes it was 60. After 10 minutes there was only 30 left. After 20 minutes it was empty. All right, it was down to 0. All right, so this is kind of the main thing that I want us to get out of today, is that y equals mx plus b, where m, the number to the left of x, is our slope, and that number, that plus b, at the end is our y-intercept. Those are the two main things that I want you guys to know today. Okay. So if we look here, the y-intercept just tells you where it's located on that line. So like this is the graph here. Our y-intercept is way up here where it crosses the y-axis. We can see rise over run. You know, we talked about going down 30 over 10. So you can see the minus 30, the plus 10. So that's all kind of there for you. We're going to look here at the next page on page 211. So it says, do all the points on the line make sense for the situation? And the answer is yes. Okay, so basically at any point that we find on that line, it would work. Up to a point, I guess I should say, because if we go over here, like if we extended this line, it would be over here, but then that would be going into negative minutes, right? And that doesn't make sense. Or if we go down over here, like it can't have negative gallons in the barrel. So the points that we graphed here in this positive quadrant all make sense, but once we go beyond that, we can't have negative time and we can't have negative gallons in there. So I guess we could say no and talk about time can't be negative, and also you can't have negative gallons. So if we extend that line, it doesn't really make sense. All right. Look at and analyze and graph it. Why does it make sense that the slope is negative? So we kind of talked about this at the beginning. It makes sense that the slope is negative because water is leaving the barrel, because they are emptying the barrel. So it has to go down. And why does it make sense that the y-intercept is positive? Well, it makes sense that the y-intercept is positive because they have to start with something. They have to start with 60 gallons. So that means it has to be positive. All right? Okay, so then explain why a horizontal line has a slope of 0. So if I had my coordinate plane like this, and I graphed a line that looked like this, that would have a slope of 0. So you can imagine it like the top of your desk or the floor or something. It is flat so that it has a slope of 0. Okay, so when something's flat, completely flat, it has a slope of 0. All right, and that's going to look like, so maybe if you did our slope formula and you did y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, and you got like 0 over 12 or something like that. Well, 0 divided by anything is just 0, so that's how we know that that would be a flat line. Okay. On this one, it's a little bit different. It's undefined. So an undefined slope would be like this. We have our coordinate grid, and then the line would go straight up and down, like that. So when it's undefined, it's a straight up and down line. If we put it into slope formula, undefined is going to look like this. It's going to be like 12 over 0. Well, if you try to put 12 divided by 0 in your calculator, it's going to give you an error. And that's because you can't divide by 0. So whenever you have an undefined slope or a 0 in the bottom, just know that it's a line that goes straight up and down. Okay? And then number 4, our last one for today, is how can you use the slope and y-intercept to graph a linear equation of the form y equals mx plus b? So we can think of it just like we did in our warm-up. okay? So, or in that like first problem. This right here, this B is our y-intercept. So we know that whatever this number is, well, we just find that number on our y-axis here, and that's where we would start. So like for instance, if that number was positive, it would be like somewhere up here, okay? We just know that this number is our y-intercept, all right? And then we also know that this number is our slope, and that we can do rise over run with that. So all I would have to do is say, oh, well, I have to go up 2 and right 3, up 2 and right 3, and then I would have my slope of the line. And I could make my line from what we call slope-intercept form. And so those are the main two things, guys, that I really want you to take away from today, is that to the left of x is m, which is slope, and then at the end is our plus b, which is our y-intercept, okay? And we'll be doing a lot more stuff with that in the coming weeks. All right, guys, thanks for watching.